In this video, we're going to create a simple AI web chat using the Kit Agent SDK and DataStar. Hi, I'm Ed Zinda, and this is What the Funk. As I mentioned in previous videos, I've been working on kind of an AI agent OS that I can customize and give to different clients to help improve their different workflows and processes within their business. So here you can see what it actually looks like, a slightly customized version. And it's basically centered around a chat interface, but I mean, it goes a little bit more in depth, but the chat interface is the main entry point. And so you see something similar to what you would probably see on ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude desktop. And yeah, you can ask it questions and it will answer things and renders markdown and all kinds of stuff. But the main architecture of this, as I explained in my previous video, is just Go in the back end. There really isn't a lot of front end code besides some HTML and a little bit of JavaScript. And the main star of the show is a small JavaScript library called DataStar. And that's what I've been using to get this cool streaming, a reactive streaming effect when the agent answers and responds with all of this markdown and formatted text. All this is done on the back end. The HTML is rendered on the back end and simply pushed up to the front end, and it's displayed in a nice streaming fashion using DataStar. Today, we're going to build a more simplified version of that. So we've got a simple AI chat interface. It does somewhat of the same thing without all the bells and whistles, but it's also using DataStar and Go under the hood. And it's all contained in a single main.go file. And it's about 300 lines of code, give or take. So for the agent portion, we're going to use the Kit Agent SDK that I've built. And this is going to take care of a lot of the boilerplate and do all of the heavy lifting of talking to different AI models and then handling the agent loop. So we're not going to have to build any of that by hand. We're just going to use the Kit SDK. And as I mentioned a few times already, we're going to be using DataStar. DataStar is a hypermedia framework. It's a very simple JavaScript library that you include at the top of your web app, and it handles all of the fancy updates. And we'll go into that into a little bit more detail. But first, if you're new to the channel, here on What the Funk, we talk about all things coding, AI, a little bit of crypto, basically anything that's super geeky, super nerdy, and super techy. If that's something that you are interested in, I encourage you to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you can stay up to date whenever I post a new video. And with that out of the way, let's just get into it. So here I've got a simple diagram of the overall architecture of what we're going to build. So everything in the browser, we've got just a main HTML page, the DataStar library, and then we have some simple messages that are just basically like little cards or bubbles that show up as you're chatting with the agent. And then a simple input form to send new messages to the agent. As soon as you load the page of the application, we open a long-running connection. When you open the page, you do a GET request to the root of the application. It downloads all the HTML. It's going to create a brand new session, and that session is going to be stored in a cookie. So you're going to have a session ID. And this is how the backend knows who it's talking to and then which history to manage in the backend. And then the other first thing it's going to do is subscribe to this /updates endpoint. And we're going to be using server-side events because that's the magic under the hood of DataStar. So this long-running GET request is going to stay open during the entire lifetime of the application. And so whenever we send a new message to our agent, any updates from that agent are going to be rendered on the server as just a chat bubble. But what's going to happen is the chat bubble is going to be streamed, first of all, and it's going to be built chunk by chunk. So say, for example, we say hello to the agent. The agent might say hello as its first chunk, but it wants to say, hello, how are you? But as soon as we get that hello, we're going to build the bubble and send that HTML element via the updates endpoint, and DataStar is just going to attach it to our DOM. As soon as we get more text, it's going to say, hello, how? We're going to rebuild that bubble. We're going to send that bubble again via the updates endpoint, and DataStar is going to know that, hey, we want to replace the old bubble that only had hello with hello, how? And it's going to do that, and it's going to happen so fast, it's going to look like it's just streaming and just like rebuilding itself. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail, but this is the overall architecture. And then here, I've got another diagram showing how DataStar basically is going to be communicating throughout the lifetime of our application. So as I said before, the user is going to open the page, then it's going to subscribe to this get updates on the server. The user's going to type something, submit it into this messages endpoint. We're not going to get anything back from that endpoint. Like nothing's going to be sent back, just to basically an acknowledgement that, hey, it worked. But then, like I said before, we're going to append a user bubble, basically with the same exact text that the user typed in. And then we're going to append an empty bubble to represent the agent's response. In the backend, we're going to send via Kit our message from the user to the LLM. Then we're going to start getting back chunks. And each chunk is going to be placed and slowly build up this new chat bubble, and it's going to be sent as it's being built, and it's going to be replaced every time we get a new update. And this is going to repeat for every chunk. And so to break it down even further, this is how the bubbles actually update. So everything is being sent via server-side events. And we've got this DataStar patch elements event that's being sent over the wire, over the get updates. And we're basically sending the entire bubble. So the bubble looks like this at first with just hi. We're going to get a new chunk. The bubble is going to be updated with hi there. We're going to send that over. And because DataStar knows that the bubble with this ID is the bubble that needs to be updated, it's going to replace it. And then we're going to get the full message, hi there, friend, and it's going to replace it. And then you just repeat as the user sends new messages. And that's it. That's literally how DataStar works. You don't need any fancy React nonsense. You don't need any crazy client-side stuff. As soon as the update comes through the wire, it's pure HTML, and DataStar knows how to replace it in the browser. You don't have to send any JSON. You don't have to map the JSON elements to different things in HTML. It's all HTML to begin with. So you save yourself a lot of time with this. So now let's just have a look at the code. It's just like any main.go. We've got our package main. We've got a bunch of imports here. I won't go into too much detail, but we're going to import Kit from the Kit SDK. And then there's a DataStar helper SDK for Go. In reality, server-side events are a standard. You don't need this SDK if you want to just like construct these events by hand. But using the SDK from DataStar is a lot simpler, and there's a lot less typing. So every message is going to be represented by this struct here. So we have the message ID, whether it's a user or an assistant, and then the actual content of the message. And then we have these different events, and this is basically to denote whether we have to add a new bubble or if we're updating an existing bubble. And then for the session, when we open the browser, the app in the browser, we set a cookie. And then for the lifetime of that session, we're able to manage the agent history, and then the server knows who it's talking to and where to store the message history in memory. So when you refresh the page, it's going to wipe the old session and give you a brand new cookie and a brand new session. And then when we create a new session, we're going to create a brand new instance of Kit, the Kit agent. In this instance, I'm using Kimi K2.5. It's one of these open source models from an Asian company, but it's being hosted by OpenCode, their creator of an agentic TUI interface, but they also host models, and I like to use them because they're pretty straightforward and not too expensive. So I'm using it from the OpenCode provider, Kimi K2.5. I give it a very simple system prompt. This doesn't really do much, just like you are a friendly assistant. Keep your replies short and clear. All of these options here, by default, the Kit Agent SDK, if you instantiate a new agent, it acts like you're actually using the Kit CLI, which is what the SDK was actually built to support. The Kit CLI, the coding agent, is built around the SDK. So you get a bunch of stuff out of the box. You get a bunch of core tools that can like read and write files in your directory. It will read like a config file. It'll read skills. You can do extensions, reads agents.md, and a bunch of other stuff. But in the context of a web application, in general, you don't want all of this stuff. So I give you the option to disable all of it so you don't like start writing stuff in your web server's drive. But that's what all this configuration is for. And then we just create a new session with everything set up. We get a new ID every time we've got a new message. So this just creates incremental IDs. And then, yeah, we can send events and stuff like that. We've got a session store, and this is literally just to store messages. We won't get into too much detail. And all this code will be up in GitHub and linked in the description below. So we've got a session store we can create new sessions, create new messages, yada, yada, yada. And then here we've got HTML. So everything is pure HTML. I'm not even using Go templates for this because the interface is pretty simple. So for a message, we decide whether or not the message is from the user or the agent. So we either justify on the left or justify on the right, but every message has the same basic structure. It's just a div with some rounded corners and then some text in the middle and maybe a label saying whether this is the agent or the assistant or the user. So we have a convenience function for rendering new messages. And then here is the shell of the application, basic HTML. But here we import DataStar from CDN. We also got Tailwind for a little bit of styling. DataStar runs using a bunch of declarative syntax that starts with data dash. So this data dash init right here tells DataStar that as soon as this website opens up, I want you to get this endpoint, this updates endpoint that we talked about earlier. And so this will stay open because by default, DataStar is going to be using server-side events, and it's going to keep this endpoint open until you basically close the connection from the server side. So this opens up and it's just going to wait for new updates. And here is the main container, and this is where all the messages are going to show up. And then we've got a footer with an input. So data signals is, think of it as just an object with a bunch of attributes. And so we only have one attribute, and that's going to be the input. And that's going to represent whatever the user types into the input field. And then for this form, anytime the user submits, we're going to post to this messages endpoint. So these are little convenience actions. So basically it just tells DataStar, hey, send a GET request, send a POST request. But by default, DataStar is going to send all of the signals that have been defined on the page to the backend. And then you can just parse those on the backend and do whatever you need. So we only have one signal, and that's the input. And then in this input field, we're going to bind that signal using data-bind to the input signal. And so this is how you tie in the value of the input to that signal. And then we just have a submit button. And here, if you're familiar with Go, this is a simple HTTP handler, and it's going to take in a request from the web browser and then display a bunch of stuff. So this simple handler is just for the index. We set the cookies, the session ID, caching, that kind of stuff. But here we have this updates handler, and this is for the /updates. And it's basically inside this handler, it is running a loop, waiting for new events. And so whenever it receives a new event, it decides whether it's like a brand new message or an update to a message. And we have this DataStar client, I guess you would say. So we just create a brand new SSE client using the DataStar SDK. And we have these convenience methods. Here in the case of a new message, we're going to render the value of the message, and then we're going to patch this using this patch elements function. And then we're going to say, because it's a new message, we want to append it to this parent messages div that was in our HTML previously. And then we specify appending using this with mode. And these are just helpers inside the DataStar SDK to define all of that. But if it's an update, we don't append it to anything. We don't specify any parent, because when we render the message, we've also rendered it with the ID. So if we go back to the render messages function, so we send it a message, and then let's go back. So if you remember back at the top of the site, this message takes an ID, a role, and text. And so this is going to be appended or added as an ID in the actual DOM element, the message element. And that's how DataStar knows, using this patch elements function, to replace that existing element with the new message. And then this final handler here is just the handler that takes in the input from when the user sends a new message. So we want to marshal it into this struct right here. We're going to get the current session from the cookie that's also sent along with this request. And we can parse the signals. So remember I specified that we have an input signal. We're going to parse the signals that are sent along with the request from DataStar. We've created this incoming struct. We're just going to marshal it into that. And then we have access to it here. If for some reason we send something with no content, we just return. But if we do get something, we're going to, one, create a brand new message, send it as an event. And so this will get appended as the user message into the DOM. And then we create an assistant message that's empty because we need a placeholder to start updating. And then in our session, we're subscribing to an on-message update. And that basically happens whenever we get a new chunk. And so when we get the new chunk, we append it to the existing text, which started out as nothing. But as it accumulates, it's going to be the full message. And we send it as an event, and then the event handler that we saw above is going to slowly build out that message. Also, if there's some kind of error, we can also display that in the bubble. And this all happens in a Go routine, so we can actually close out this connection by sending the status no content, the 204. And so this will all happen, and then as soon as the agent has finished responding, then this Go routine will just go away. And then down here in our main function, we basically just scaffold everything together, create a brand new HTTP server. We define our different routes, the route, the updates, and the messages. And then we bind it to port 8080. So here we have it running on port 8080. We can say, hello, how can I help you today? Tell me a story. And you can see everything that we described earlier is happening. And yeah, everything is streaming. And say, tell me a longer story. So we append the user message, append an empty assistant message, and then as soon as it starts responding, it just starts streaming. And like I said before, this is just the same DOM element that's being sent over the wire every time with the new longer text from the agent. But it doesn't look like that. When it's streaming, it's just being replaced very quickly by DataStar. And that's it. That's how you can quickly and easily create an AI web chat using the Kit Agent SDK and the DataStar hypermedia framework. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.